What is going on, guys? Ultimate Deadpool here. Sorry, I've been busy with stuff at home and haven't been able to make any update videos or anything like that. So I am going to do a 100 subscriber special since I recently just passed 100 subscribers. It is going to involve the musical Mutagen Ninja Turtles, so it is going to be multiple parts long. So just to keep an eye out for that video, hopefully coming out next week, or that series of videos coming out next week. But we have 5 figures in front of me right now. We're going to go through each one of them one by one and basically review the 4 and show off the 5th. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into things. Alright, starting off with Leonardo. Now, I believe these are the Turtles in Time NECA characters, which I believe is actually, this design choice is based off a video game of the Turtles, which is why they look the way they do. Now, before anybody asks, yes, all 4 of these turtles are going to appear in the Leonardo Universe Jump video series. That's why I purchased them. So, right off the bat, they look a little weird because they're supposed to look like a video game. Pixelated graphics and whatnot. But they're really not that bad. It's the same mold as the Slash figure, which is actually came from the same Turtles in Time video game-esque look. And it's also the same mold that the regular NECA Ninja Turtles are anyway. Really good design work on his torso, belt, and arms. I will say I don't like the color green that they used as the basis color. For me, this green up here for his hands, head, and feet just don't really work. I wish they had done the darker colors, but that's just me. All 4 turtles come with these rocket boards, like you see in the shows and video games. Then he's got the very standard Leonardo katanas and everything else, which do fit in his back belt right there. So honestly, not a bad figure. They're all pretty much going to be the same, but and his facial expression is actually pretty good as well. I will say I wish they had whitened out the eyes completely like they did with Slash. I don't know, I just think that would make it look a little bit better aesthetically, but this isn't bad for what it is, and I'm actually kind of happy to have this character because Leonardo's one of my my favorite turtle out of all 4 of them. So moving on. Alright, next up we got my second favorite Ninja Turtle, Michelangelo. Now, Michelangelo is one of my favorite Ninja Turtles, mostly because he reminds me of me, with the exception of actually liking pizza. I don't like pizza, for those of you who guys don't know that. I've never liked the pizza. I don't know what it is about it. I just never cared to like it. But Michelangelo was always one of those characters that made me feel like it's me, but at the same time, it's weird, I know. But Michelangelo has the same basic detailing as Leonardo. The only difference is his bandana is basically yellow, which I don't really like that they did that. I know it's supposed to mimic a video game, but at the same time, the yellow just does not look right. And I don't know if it's just the lighting I have because of the stuff up here or what, but for some reason, Michelangelo's bands are just neonish yellow, and they don't look right at all. And again, it's probably just the lighting that I have up here just gives it that yellowish color, but I don't like this color that they chose for Michelangelo's bands. He does come with another nunchuck piece that has it swirling and actually rotating, so you can do a lot of really cool features with that. But other than that, Michelangelo's facial expression is actually pretty decent. Not really fitting for his character. I wish they had done something a little bit different. But all in all, not too bad. And then he's got the same sewer sled that all the Ninja Turtles have. But anyway, moving on. Alright, now we've got Raphael, which is actually my 3rd favorite Ninja Turtle. Raph is actually tied between Michelangelo as my 2nd favorite, mostly because there are a lot of Raphael traits that I share. I am a smartass. I used to have an anger problem. I still technically do from time to time. And I also like doing things by myself. Um, so Raphael is one of those other characters that I can very much relate to, and that's one of the reasons why he's basically tied with my second favorite turtle. So Raphael's design is basically the same as everybody else. The red that they used for his bands, it's not bad. I wish it was just a little bit darker. But again, I got to keep telling myself it is supposed to represent a video game. It's not supposed to, represent the actual show and whatnot. Because I'm sure if it did, it'd be a lot darker and everything else and blah 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 blah. Raphael Size. While I wish they were all one color like Michelangelo's were, and Leo's, they're not bad. It's like a two-tone, like half is one color gray, the other half is a different color gray. It looks a little weird, but honestly, it's not that bad. And again, I think Raphael especially is the one who suffers the most with the pupils in the eyes instead of taking them away like they did with Slash. Again, I think if they had done these four turtles just like that, I think it would have been better. But honestly, again, not too bad. I wish they had done just a small little color change and had his size be one color instead of being two. So, moving on. Okay, now I know what you guys are probably going to think. Why did you have Donatello as your last turtle? And no, Donatello's not my favorite Ninja Turtle, but I wouldn't say he's my least. I don't have a least favorite Ninja Turtle, but between all four of them, Donatello for me is just. He's more of a tech guy, and I'm not a tech person. I understand technology. I know how to use some forms of technology, but I'm not like, mad scientist level technological like Donatello is. And I am a nerd, but I'm not as big of a dork as Donatello is. So I don't really have that kind of character connection that a lot of these turtles that I have with all the other ones. Like Leonardo, I like him because he's the powerful, strong leader, but also, wants to make sure that his family's safe. That's kind of what I am too. Michelangelo's kind of the jokester, doesn't take anything seriously, but when he needs to take stuff seriously, he can definitely be serious. That's definitely me. And Raphael is the sarcastic smartass who basically can get ticked off with just the way you breathe, which is also me. So it totally works if you ask me. But Donatello, I'm not that smart, and I know that. So Donatello just was never one of my favorite turtles. I still like Donatello as a character, but yeah. So anyway, Donatello has the same design as everybody else because it is supposed to be a video game. I absolutely hate the color of his bands. They made it like a very hot pink kind of color, which I get, for the time it was supposed to be for a video game and everything else, and I completely understand why they did that. I just don't think it was the right way to go. I wish they had done a darker purple or a darker color that was actually purple instead. But for what it is, it's not bad. It's supposed to represent a video game, and I can't wait to use all four of these turtles in the Leonardo Universe Jump video that's coming out hopefully later this year. I have not forgotten about that series. I'm actually very excited to do it, but I need two specific turtles to do it, and I can't do it right now because they haven't actually released them yet. So just bear with me. I know I'm hoping that video series is going to be really good, but especially the part where I need those two specific characters. But just, again, bear with me, and hopefully everything will kind of iron itself out. So, moving on. Alright, now we have Metalhead. Now, this is a different version of Metalhead than I have done before. This was the first version I did, and this one's not bad. This one's good in its own way. But honestly, detail-wise, I like this one better because, I had a very limited quantity of this particular mold, and I didn't want to completely mess it up because if I messed it up too bad, I couldn't redo it. This one you can still get in stores and everything else. It's relatively inexpensive. The only downside is you get an extra figure on top of it, and it's not, really necessary. But with this, I'd have to order it, it'd have to come in, it'd possibly get delayed, blah, 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 etc., etc., etc. So I just said, screw it, and just went ahead and did Metalhead using this new toy mold. So I love the way this version of Metalhead came out. In my mind, if Metalhead was an actual character from the Ninja Turtles universe, with the exception of the actual Metalhead character, I'm talking about my version of Metalhead's character. If my version of Metalhead was an actual character in the Ninja Turtles universe, this is how I would expect him to look like. Because Metalhead is one of those characters that has gone through hell, who is basically physically, mentally, and everything else effed all to hell, because his body's messed up, his mind is messed up, his fighting skills are unmatched by anybody, and literally no one can beat him. But then again, that's just me having him being overpowered as all get out. Which is actually going to play a key factor in the Leonardo universe universe jump video series, because Metalhead is going to go up against a certain character or characters, which is going to be so good, and I cannot wait to see people's reactions when these two characters go up against Metalhead, because you would think, I'm not going to say too much about it, but you would think that they would have the upper hand, and most likely they will. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. So what I did with this figure is I took the Cobra Kai versus Ninja Turtles Michelangelo mold or body or whatever, and just completely destroyed it. I filled in his M logo, so his you can't tell it's Michelangelo. I put a rubber band around his body and painted it black, so that way it gives it his black strap. Just like I did with the original. That's the same thing I did. That's actually a rubber band that's not molded onto the body. I took copper wire and wrapped it around his arm, just like I did with this one. Now, this one did turn out better. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure it's because this is solder wire and it's just easier to bend, versus the copper wire was a lot harder to work with. So I didn't have any solder wire at the time. I should have went ahead and just said screw it and went to the store to get solder wire. But for, this one definitely does look better than this. But honestly, it's really not that bad. So, but I definitely like this upper arm joint versus this one better. I still went ahead and basically caked up his left arm with the epoxy putty to kind of give it more of a robotic-esque look. I gave his elbow pad more of a actual middle joint like most robotic parts do, and like old robot looks. Unlike this one, when it's just a basic piece. Mostly the reason why I did that is because this one only has one joint. It's not three like these are. This one has three joints. This one only has one. Because you got 1, 2, and 3 versus 1 and 2. So, but one other thing I did is I went ahead and painted his left arm silver. Yeah, that's a hammered silver, which gives it a really cool look. But unfortunately, didn't really work out as well as I had hoped. And the paint just kept sticking anyway, so I just said screw it and basically dosed it with baby powder to take away the sticky, which worked, but at the same time completely messed it up. And then I took this like a silver marker or something and did the legs. Same thing, I did the epoxy putty around the kneecaps to give it more of a robotic-esque look. And then just painted his right wrist or right forearm silver, basic colors, basic pattern, nothing special with that. And then I took a solder iron and burned out the slash on his chest, the bullet holes on his chest, the bullet holes over here. There's bullet holes in his shell, and there's also like one slash mark or so on his other side as well. Went ahead and added those using the solder iron, and I also used the X-Acto knife, heated up. I heated up the blade to give it more of those deeper gashes, like right around here in his chest area. Those are heated up X-Acto knife marks along on his head, over his left eye. Is also heated up X-Acto knife marks. His swords pack came from another Leonardo of the same mold, which is what I should have built it off of to begin with. I should have done a Leonardo mold instead of a Michelangelo mold, but I don't know why I went ahead and just completely changed it. But honestly, this doesn't look bad anyway. I gave him Rocksteady's second sword, because if you guys know, usually Metalhead would have a machete or something in this side of his belt. And then, unfortunately, I tried to get his gun to fit on his belt on the other side, but because this version of these arms ended up being so much bulkier, and his overall body was just bigger, I couldn't fit the gun in the side like I wanted to, so that's why it's actually on the back of his shell, versus being right underneath his arm, just like it really should be. Because this is where this body kind of works better, because that gun not only fits in the hand better than this one, it just aesthetically looks better on the side versus being on his back. But all in all, not too much of a difference. His face was covered in silver paint. The black was actually already there. That's one of the reasons why I went ahead and got the Michelangelo mold, so that way I went ahead and had the black bandana already. I painted his eyes red. And I went ahead and did touch up the black in some areas around his bandana, because painting the silver on kind of messed it up. That's pretty much it. And then I painted the swords from the Leonardo figure, black and silver and chrome, to make it pop more, and make it look more like the actual Metalhead character that I created so ever many years ago. So let me know what you guys think. Which version of Metalhead do you guys like better? Do you like the old version of Metalhead in action figure form, or do you like the new version better? I have not forgotten the Lego version. The Lego version was the original. So, but between these two, which one do you guys like better? Do you like the old design? Do you like the new design? Or do you like both of them? Let me know. I'd love to know these things. Real quick, before we end off the video, I didn't talk about Metalhead's base plate. Now, Metalhead's base plate is actually pretty cool. It is the standard base plate that comes with these particular style turtles. I blacked out the letters where the Teenage Mutant Ninja is. Filled those letters with chrome, so that's why it's kind of reflective there. Painted the Turtles logo, or the actual word Turtles, in chrome. And then scratched off where the name was originally. I think this was Leonardo's base plate from the extra pack to get the swords and the sword pack. Scratched that out and painted Metalhead in red letters to give it more of a Metalhead feel. Also, I took watered down black paint and kind of grimed up all of his legs. Pretty much any part that is silver, with the exception of his head, has been blackwashed, or has been painted over with a watered down black wash, just to kind of give it more of a oily, grimy kind of looking feel, not a clean cut, fresh from the assembly line type of feel. So kind of give it more of a he's been through a lot type of, like, he's been in a lot of fights, he's done a lot of stuff type feel. His shell was also burned and painted in the black wash as well, just to give it more of an actual aesthetic feel to it. And then his markers up here on his face were also washed out with the black wash, wiped away, so that way it looks more deep than what it actually is. So that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. All of these characters that you've seen today, with the exception of this one, are going to appear in the Leonardo Universe Jump video. Hopefully coming out later this year. I'm really hoping I can do it this year. If not, it will be coming out. next year, but I cannot do anything about it until I get two certain characters to do it. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I know I haven't been doing a whole lot of stop motions lately, and I do apologize for that. They are coming. I promise you, my 100 subscriber special that's coming out this week is going to be like 5 parts long, and each one is going to be a very long stop motion, or fairly long stop motion. You'll see why when I do it. But again, just bear with me, and hopefully everything works out in the end. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys all later. Bye.